everyone, it's Randy. So I am many months late on this, but in August it was officially, I was diagnosed with RA in August of 2013. So 2021, 8 years ago. So in August, it was officially 8 years since I'd been officially diagnosed with RA. If you don't know, I had symptoms as early as the age of 10. So that would have been 2007. But it took 6 years for us to figure out what actually was going on. So yeah, August was just a big month. I was planning for my wedding. I was getting married, traveling, honeymoon. It's just a lot. And then here we are already in December. So it's just been a minute. But I finally wanted to just dive into my RA update because I always give y'all a little update from like year to year and how things are going. And I realized I haven't done that yet. So just some quick things about my RA update. As y'all know, if y'all have been following me on Instagram, and on Instagram, my Instagram name or my link to my Instagram page is actually below. But on Instagram, I was sharing, kind of just giving y'all the inside look of how my medication has not been working. Unfortunately, yeah, my RA medication just wasn't as strong as it just has been in the past. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I also want to talk a little bit about, I had an MRI done of my hands. I've never had an MRI done of my hands, and I've had that done. And just kind of what my future for RA is kind of looking like. So my medication stopped working, and I'd been on it since January of 2018, and it was working so great. Absolutely love that medication. But my RA was then my tendons were starting to bother me. I wasn't necessarily having as much joint pain as I used to in the past, but I was having a lot of tendon pain. And at first it started with my flexor tendons right here, and then it kind of progressed into my elbows, my shoulders, my hips, my knees, my Achilles tendons. Those kind of bothered me for a really, really long time, starting in January of this year. So January 2021 was when my Achilles started to act up, as well as I started to have plantar fasciitis. So I've been dealing with that since January 2021, but as the year kind of progressed was when all the other tendons started popping in. And I knew something was going on when my knees were bothering me because there was one time before I was diagnosed where I had my knee flare up really, really bad, but I never had where my tendons were bothering me. So that was kind of like the red flag to me that something was going on. And I started to realize that like tenosynovitis is just something that some people deal with when they have RA. I was actually getting massages. So yeah, I was getting massages done, and massaging, it was kind of helping just to relax my muscles because I was going through these periods of time where I was in so much pain. So I would tense up my muscles, and then I started to get muscle spasms, and goodness gracious, it just got all out of hand. So yeah, so my medicine stopped working, and I was talking to my rheumatologist. I'm like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we have to do something. And she doesn't like me to take steroids because of course steroids there's a lot of long-term effects that can happen from those. So I decided to just start, she decided to have an MRI done of my hands just to see how my hands were looking and to kind of give an idea of what my RA was attacking. I had a feeling that I knew that it was attacking my tendons and not necessarily my joints, but you have to see actually in what's actually going on to make that definite diagnosis and to know, yeah, that's for sure what's going on. So yeah, so I've just been living without a good RA medication for a while, and that was starting to bother me with like working out and just being active, and that is just something that I can handle when my RA hurts me, but it's so frustrating to me when I'm not able to work out. So I had my MRI done not too long ago, a few weeks ago, and I got the results back from that. And in my RA report, it does show that I have a bunch of tenosynovitis going on in my hands. A lot of my tendons just are swollen, they're inflamed, and I even have a tear in one of my tendons here. So, and that's just all just from RA. I haven't done anything repetitive that has caused that tear or caused that tenosynovitis, but just my RA has just been attacking those. Sometimes my wrist will get swollen like right here, and that's just the cyst that's filling up, but I have a few of them that are actually in both hands. So those will swell up and then kind of decrease from time to time. It just depends. So the MRI gave us the ding, ding, ding that, yeah, my medication was controlling joint pain, which is really, really good. So I didn't have any joint damage, so I was happy to see that. My medication just wasn't helping with the tendons. And so my rheumatologist said that that is very common with the type of medicine I was on. It was the IL-6 drug, and that one was very common to she prescribes it when people have high activity in joint disease from their RA. But she doesn't necessarily prescribe it if it's tendon disease from RA. So switch medications, and I finally actually got the medication in today as I'm filming this. I haven't taken it yet, but I switched to a new medication, and hopefully, she says hopefully that medication will control the joint side of my disease as well as the tendon side, so I can have both of those taken care of. So yeah, so that's kind of a big update that has happened. Other than that, I mean, I've still been working out. I still do my workout routines. I did change my workout routine up a little bit just because I was kind of getting bored with it. And of course, when my tendons were acting up, that kind of kept me from really working out the way I wanted to. So I had to do a lot of like low impact, very low level type of things. But I mean, I was still moving, so I was happy and grateful for that. On the days that I couldn't move, I just didn't move. So I moved if I could, and if I couldn't, I just took that as a rest day. So other than that, I mean, nothing else big is going on in my RA update. That's really it. Nothing crazy other than that has really happened. Since I did just get married, my rheumatologist did ask us if we were deciding to have kids soon, because of course, if you're planning to have kids, you have to be on a certain medication. There are certain types of medications, or just certain ones that you're able to take if you are pregnant or trying to become pregnant. So we aren't trying to become pregnant right now, so we didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, that's just the biggest change that's been happening. I would say that now that since me and Matt are now married and we live together, that has helped with my RA, because as I don't know if y'all know, but I've never lived by myself, and that's just because if I need something or if I'm in a lot of pain, then someone else has to be there to get that. So that has been very helpful, just to, just have that transition of having him here, because he's been so hands-on. Because y'all, there were nights where I was just in so much pain for a really long time, because I wasn't taking any medication, like not even steroids, while waiting for my MRI. And that is crazy, because my RA, I have 2 antibodies that are positive, and so I was just in a lot of pains. Like there are times where like I would have to sleep like this, but on my stomach, with my arms just like straight underneath me, because I couldn't, if I would bend my elbows when I'd go to straighten them out, they wouldn't straighten out, and it'd just be so much pain because of the tendons and how inflamed they were. So sleeping was just not fun for a little bit there, but nonetheless, we made it through, and hopefully I start this new medication today. So hopefully it goes well. I'm praying it goes well, because I don't want to go through the process and deal with insurance companies, because they are just, they're literally the worst to deal with, and it's only because they're not in pain. That's why they take their time, because they're not in pain. But yeah, so that's just my update on my RA. I want to give that, since it has been officially 8 years, coming up on 10 years in a couple years, so that's literally crazy. But yeah, that's my update. And if y'all have any questions or want to email me or DM me on Instagram, I'd be happy to respond. I have all of that info dropped below. And of course, if y'all need me, I am available to y'all. And as always, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day.